Welcome back to Let's Play Demon Souls. Here is your bloodstain. Touch it after you die, and you regain all the souls that you lost. If you die again before reaching your bloodstain, however, it disappears, and all your souls are gone for good. Well, the souls you had before you died, at least. Doesn't look like he dropped any items. And yeah, there's a trap ahead. You'll see it done many more times in World 1. This one breaks some barriers, allowing us to get at this corpse with a bastard sword on it, however, so it's all good. So long as it didn't get hit, at least. Let's take a moment to take a look at the stats on the bastard sword. It's a bit better than the falchion we're using right now, but we don't have enough strength to wield it, even with both hands. Also, be careful if you're closing the menu with circle while you're moving, because you might accidentally roll. Now, you don't have to go down this way if this is your first time playing. In fact, it's a good idea not to. I'm just going down here to show you why. Arg. That's why I don't like fighting guys with spears and shields. It helps if I'm in range. Ow. Darn crossbowmen. Opportunistic roll. Anyway, yeah, if you're new to this game, or if you're playing a new character, don't... Oh, that Soldier's Lotus, by the way, cures bleeding. Where was I? Yeah, don't come down here. Not past this point, at least. Because like the message says, there's a terrifying foe ahead. Down at the end of the walkway there. He's much stronger than every other opponent in this stage, unless you are really good at the game, or much later on in the game and higher level and whatnot, he'll rip you apart. There's the first knight enemy of World 1. First of many. The trick to fighting them is to not do that. Bait them into attacking and watch their attack pattern to figure out the right point to attack. So if you just rush in like I did, you'll get hurt. Let's see if this guy died in a fun and interesting way. No. Anyway, we'll ignore the fog for now and instead jump down here. You'll take a little bit of damage, but it probably won't kill you. And get a light crossbow, our first ranged weapon, unless you start as a hunter or, I believe, a thief. Crossbows kind of suck. For one thing, the damage is static. It doesn't scale up with your stats. You cannot aim it manually like with a bow, so you have to rely on locking on to reliably hit. This also means it has much shorter range than what you can get with the bow, and it has a long recovery time after every shot fired as you reload. Combined with the short range, it makes it a little tricky to use unless there's something keeping the enemy from getting at you. So it's pretty situational at best. And once again, we ignore the fog barrier and run past here, because there's some very nice items sitting here. In fact, let's leave a message. You have a lot of options. The trick sometimes is finding the right one. Yeah, this one should do. Beginner should go here first. One of the items is incredibly useful. The other is, well, still pretty useful. Up at the top we find some fire bombs here, and okay, let's go into more detail on the items you find at the bottom. You find, oh wait, I love this part. Not that part. This part. They almost always blow themselves up like that. Anyway, about halfway down the tower there are two corpses. Oh, chains that are holding corpses. You break the chains and the corpses drop down to the bottom. there to the left there's the doorway which leads to the chains. We're going to break them with our bare hands just for the hell of it. Anyway, one of the corpses has a jade hair ornament, which is used to get a ring in the nexus. The other has some ragged robes, which is female-only armor, as well as some spice, which restores magic points. And we also find a ring on a corpse at the bottom of the tower. The ring is the incredibly useful bit. Let's see how this fellow dies, and get a firebomb ready to try and blow up the barrels. No. Well, at least he didn't hit me. Oh well. They blew themselves up again. That was kind of funny. Alright, pull the lever. It'll open up the gates down here at the bottom, and we'll be able to claim our first prize, and definitely the most useful, the cling ring. And here we find the robes and spice, and I didn't mean to hit that message, and on this one the jade hair ornament. Let's put these on. The cling ring lose less HP when in soul form. It increases your max HP in soul form from about 50% to 75%. Percentage-wise, that's the highest you can get it in the game. There are other things that affect it, but that only makes it go down. I'll explain those in more detail later, after this stage probably. Why am I going this way? Yeah, I'll explain the world and character tendency after I clear this stage and return to the Nexus, because that's when they start to really come into play. So once more, back up to the fog barrier, and this time we're not going to ignore it. Not going through, there are some stairs down to your right, nothing else. And two ways to go from here. That ledge with a knight on it, or that walkway there. We want to go say hi to the knight. It's easier to get here if you take off heavy armor. First, we loot the corpse for a thief's ring, which makes it harder for enemies to detect us, which is always nice. And then we go talk to the knight.
That was a bold jump. A surprise indeed. Well, now that you are here, pray thee, fend off these dreglings.
A bit of reversal of the usual fantasy tropes. This time, the knight is asking the young maiden for assistance, and it is in need of rescuing. A little bit of unintended humor, I think, if you choose a female character. And yeah, I know using a crossbow here is a lot more boring than just jumping down there into the fray, but I wanted to show off the crossbow. Hey, you're not allowed to dodge. Okay, let's get our vengeance by jumping on his head. A broken sword, which is used to create a unique weapon. It's a random drop, I just got lucky there. We could talk to the knight now and claim our reward, but then he starts wandering around and making things interesting, so let's not. And that turpentine I just picked up, when you use it, it applies additional fire damage to your right-hand weapon, so long as it's not made out of wood, because setting a wooden weapon on fire is kind of silly. Actually, setting metal on fire is kind of silly too, but it's a coating. Ooh, let's see if we can backstab this knight. No. Although he has a two-handed sword, you fight him like pretty much every other knight. Bait him into attacking, then strike, and then get the hell out of there. Ow. Knights give a lot of souls. And we go down here, pick up the scimitar, which we will not be using because it's essentially a weaker version of the falchion, and whoa, we are out of time. So see you later, folks.